For Clubhouse Chatters, we continue on this Sunday morning. Here's Tony Torcato and Norm Ordez.
That's right. Hey, we're back for the final show of the day, and we've got one of my favorite guests on board for this final show, and we have the king of Jewish baseball, Nate Fish, with us. Nate, how's it going?
Yo, it's going well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. So Nate Fish is a member of the World Baseball Classic qualifying Team Israel. How does that sound, man?
That's good.
Has it sunk in? Has it sunk in yet?
Yeah. The feeling lingers. The feeling lingers. It's just, when we won the game, I was just really relieved. But the good feelings have continued for a week plus by now, compared to when we lost in 2012, when the bad feelings lingered for a month plus after that game. So I'm hoping it continues for at least that long.
We had Tom Gamboa on before you this morning. He was telling us a little bit about the scene of when you guys clinched, and man, how weird was it to be in this almost the same exact scenario that you guys were in back in 2012? So you went 2-0, and then 2012 you went 2-0. You played Spain, and then ended up losing in extra innings, and so this year you go 2-0. Play Great Britain in the final, who you had already beaten. How strange was that?
Yeah, we were talking about it. But, the guys that were there in 2012, we were kind of, like nudging each other and being like, we're in the exact same spot. We're in the exact same spot. So we were definitely conscious of it. But we went into that final game, and it was still 0-0 into like the fourth inning. And it was just a little too close for comfort at that point. We kind of broke it open eventually, but I did not want that thing to keep, moving along as it was. I didn't want to see us in an extra inning game again, like knowing what can happen. So luckily we kind of broke the pattern this time, and a couple guys hit a couple home runs, and that was the difference.
Cody Decker with a mammoth shot.
That's awesome.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Once again, congratulations. And, we've been kind of chatting with you guys for quite a while now, 4 or 5 years. And how big was this win for Israel?
It's huge. I mean, I started hearing from the guys in Israel, the players and the coaches, like right away. As soon as we went back in the clubhouse, I picked up my phone. There were a bunch of messages. People were really happy. And like I said before, it's sort of just beginning. I mean, we're just now going to find out what kind of impact it actually has. We'll see if more kids are registering for local baseball clubs in Israel. Mm-hmm. The prize money eventually will trickle into the baseball program in Israel, which will take some pressure off them and allow them to do some things that they wanted to do for years. So, I mean, it's huge. It's much different for the guys that are on the team. They're used to playing for themselves, playing for their teammates and their families. But this goes even a step further than that, and they're really conscious of that. Like, the guys on the team were so happy for Israel baseball, even more than they were happy for themselves. So that's one of the things that makes this tournament a little bit different than what their like regular professional careers are normally like. But it's huge for Israel baseball, even if it's just for the prize money and the press that us are participating in March will generate, just getting the word out there. I mean, those two things alone will have a huge impact.
That's awesome.
Now you're in a pretty tough group, and
yeah,
once again,
they're all tough. They're all tough at that point. If you look at the groups, honestly, I'll take the one that we're in because they're all tough. And
so you get a win there. Holy cow! Baseball in Israel is about to explode again. And it's going to be crazy playing in baseball in Israel. Of course I've never been to Israel, but through you guys I've kind of learned a little bit. It's different. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I remember a couple of years ago, you guys had a game going on, and you guys actually, you got your 7th inning stretch. You guys actually had to take a break because rockets were being fired overhead. I mean, here in the United States, we don't deal with that.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's a little different. I mean, the culture is different. The life, the things that people are used to are a little bit different. I mean, if that happened here, it would be... people would not be nearly as casual about it.
Right.
If rockets were flying in over Brooklyn as people are when rockets are coming in over Tel Aviv. So it's different. The baseball scene is different. The culture is different, and that's part of the challenge in trying to, create a culture of baseball in a place where it doesn't exist already. I mean, I was coaching at a tournament yesterday in New Jersey at Jack Cust's place. It's called Diamond Nation in New Jersey. There's like 8 turfed out fields. The parking lot's full. There's gear. There's cages. There's people everywhere. Games going on from every age group. Must have been a couple hundred players there for the day. And that just does not exist in Israel. I mean, There's one legitimate baseball field in the whole country. And this one facility in New Jersey had 8, pristine turf diamonds. So, it's just a much different thing.
Jack Cust. How's old Jack doing?
I don't know. I've never even met him, but I know his play.
So I don't know if you remember.
Go ahead.
Funny.
I don't know if Tony remembers Jack, but Jack, he was one of those guys when he came to town, when he was in AAA level, that you didn't want to miss batting practice because he put on a show. I mean, the guy can hit. And I remember watching him up at Portland, hitting on top of the Multnomah Athletic Club a couple different times, and he was just a monster. And so baseball in Israel. So you guys had a mascot. What was that?
Oh, the bench on the bench?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know where Decker found that thing. He just came in the clubhouse one day and set it up. It was like Jewish Joe Boo.
Leave it up to Decker.
Yeah, exactly. It was just sitting in one of the empty lockers with a tallis around it and a bottle of Manischewitz wine. And every day someone else would bring something into the clubhouse to, add to the little shrine that we had going. And, we kind of rallied around the bench on the bench.
Let's talk a little bit about Decker. How important was it to have a person like Decker in the clubhouse? I mean, one, he the leadership of him, people follow him. And two, he just keeps things loose.
Yeah, well, sometimes because he's so funny, people forget he's actually a really good baseball player.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So he's good just to have his bat in the lineup, and he played really well at third base also. At the coaches' meetings, we're wondering if Decker can play third base, but he did a great job out there. And he hits. Obviously he's a great lifetime career professional hitter, so it helps to have his bat in the lineup. As far as his personality, that's great, just keeping the guys loose. But in general, it helped to have a bunch of guys that already knew each other from last time. There were like 8 guys returning. So, Decker, Fryman, Cutler, all those guys. It just felt much more like you were coming back onto a team that you had already played on, as opposed to going through the whole process of breaking the ice and getting to know each other. It was pretty much like instantaneous. And that has a lot to do with Deck. He's pretty talkative, on the bus and out on the field also. Yeah,
he definitely talks, He is also one of our favorites. He's a hoot. I mean, you guys, your roster, you've got a couple of guys that, yourself, and then Shlomo. I mean, he's pretty hilarious himself.
Oh yeah, Big Shlomo's an attention grabber. If for nothing else than the way he looks, he's about 6'5". He's got the mullet rocking. He's got the beard and the gold tooth. I mean, Shlo's got it going on. We were trying to get Shlo in the game. We're kind of down in the dugout because we had a little bit of a lead in that last game, and we were up 9-1. We got to 1 out, and guys are kind of, nudging each other with their elbows like, we got to get Shlo out there, and it sort of made its way down the line to the coaching staff. But it was just too quick. We had Dean Kramer on the mound for the ninth inning, and he was rolling. So we didn't have a chance to get Schlo out there, but it was definitely, we all wanted to see him pitch, and it would have been great to have him on the mound for the final out.
So now Dean is the only Israeli drafted? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Dean is the first Israeli ball player to be drafted. Yeah, by a major league organization. He's with the Dodgers right now. He finished in low A. He had some success there. I think he's at Instructs right now. He went from the WBC with us to Dodger camp out in Arizona.
And then Slow, he's the only Israeli-born on the team, correct?
Yeah. It was Schlo was the only Israeli-born guy, and then we had also Tal was catching bullpens. He's an Israeli kid. That was a great opportunity for him just to be around the guys, take BP, catch pens, get to see how they work. And then myself and Alon Leishman were two members of the coaching staff that have Israeli passports. So total, there were five Israelis, if you want to include me in that, after my time in Israel and the fact that I have a passport.
So now your time in Israel, are you done with that now? What are you doing now?
Yeah, I'm in New York now. I'm still going to sort of represent Israel baseball however much I can from here as we get ready to go into March. But I'm also going to be coaching baseball here and just getting back to family and life here and see what's next. But I'll continue. I'm sure I'll work on Israel baseball forever. Once they get you, you're a lifetime member.
Yeah, that is true. And leaving it behind. What kind of shape is it in? I mean, obviously it's growing. Yeah,
it's good. They hired three guys. They kind of split up some of the responsibilities that I had. They hired three new guys that are all really capable to be in charge of different programs that we have going there. And I think that's even a better deal than having one person try and do it all. You have a small group of people working together. I think they'll be able to get more accomplished. And I think it's going to be easier to do some fundraising and stuff like that now that we're in the World Baseball Classic. So this is like a critical period between the qualifier and the first round of the tournament for us to just sort of, seize the momentum, see if we can raise some money, build some fields, keep the programs going. It's just a good boost for everything.
And how is baseball, across Israel doing? I see that you guys are sending younger teams to different tournaments, and they're faring pretty well.
Yeah, it's a challenge. Like I said, the thing that you have in America is this really competitive peer environment. There's all these kids. Man, if I don't work hard for this roster spot, there's 10,000 other kids right behind me that are willing to do whatever it takes to be on this team, and that kind of competition just doesn't exist in Israel. It's moving in that direction, but it's just not as competitive of an environment. But the kids that do play, the kids that are in our baseball academy there, in the national team program, they are further along than some people might expect. I mean, they got pretty good baseball IQ. The coaching is pretty good. The instruction that they get is pretty good. So, they know how to play the game fundamentally. So, yeah, they have some success when they go out to international tournaments. We just got to keep. It takes a long time to work on
got to keep pressing. Absolutely.
Player development takes a real long time. So, a little bit of success here and there makes everyone feel good. And makes you feel like you can, accomplish some things. But like the rest of Europe, it's behind, America and some parts of Asia and Latin America and things like that. But, it's for the small community of people in Israel that do play baseball, it's a pretty good program.
And do we have a couple of kids that are coming up that we should be aware of that are, coming up the pipeline?
Yeah. There's a few kids in the baseball academy that we're going to be getting out to junior colleges. We had a shortstop this year. He's got an offer at Sac City, which is a good junior college program in California, and that's really the best thing we can do for them is get them into junior colleges because they need a couple more years to develop.
Right.
And then from there we can see if they can go D1 or if they can go into pro baseball. So the first step is placing them at junior colleges and seeing how they fit in there and if they can develop. So that's sort of the plan, is to take the kids from our baseball academy that are a little more serious and get them into JUCOs in California and Florida. So we're starting to do that now.
Nice.
Sweet.
Nice. So
Yeah.
you've got the so you qualified. You've got WBC coming up in March. How do you think the roster is going to differ from the qualifying team?
Well, we had 28 guys on the team. I think it's the same size roster, and I think there's like maybe 8 or 10 Jewish guys in the big leagues.
Yep.
So assuming that it's 8 guys and assuming that they all come on board, you essentially have 20 of the same guys that we just were with in Brooklyn, plus the 8 major league players. And if you look at if you just look at the list of Jewish big leaguers, most of them are position players.
Ryan Braun. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the outfit, you can go through and do like a mock up a lineup, and it's pretty good if they all come on board. It's just a matter of getting commitments from them and getting them to sort of buy into the idea that this is a worthwhile experience for them. It helps once you get one guy like an Ian Kinsler or a Kevin Pillar or something like that. Once you get one of those guys on board, it becomes easier for the others to also get involved, because it's a small community of people.
Right.
They respect one another. They want to know that, hey, is this guy going to do it? Okay, he's going to do it, then I'll do it also. So the roster could be similar, but almost an entire starting lineup of Major League Baseball players that we didn't have access to for the qualifier. That's a big difference.
Well,
certainly in the lineup and on defense. So it's just a matter of getting commitments from those guys that they want to do it.
the qualifying team, I mean, you guys had a pretty solid team going into qualifying regardless. I mean, like I said, you could always use more pitching, but position-wise, holy cow, man. You had some pop, and you guys were exciting to watch.
Yeah, it's a good team. We knew that, in the coaches' meetings. We knew we were going to have to hit and probably hit some home runs to win. That was sort of our thing. We weren't going to steal a lot of bases.
Right.
We had some guys with some real power and some major league experience, and they were going to have to come through. And we didn't have any, actually, in the first two games, but we sort of broke out, and that's what separated it for us, for sure.
And Jason Marquis, I mean, he was huge.
Yeah, he was good. I love Jason. He's good. He's a competitor.
And then, of course, Josh Seid. Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah, Seid. Yeah.
And so, for him, I mean, he's a story in its own self. I mean, taking the loss against Spain 2012 and getting the victory this last time, I mean, that's pretty cool for him.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, I mean, it's big-time redemptive experience for a lot of us. It's sort of like a monkey off the back kind of vibe. Josh, was on the mound when we lost in 2012. He goes out and gets the win in the finals. I know that's something that he wanted to do, to sort of right the ship just personally for himself. He had been released in the spring this year, and he said really the reason that he continued playing was so that he could keep himself in shape for this and come back and get this win, and that's exactly what happened. So, you couldn't have scripted it any better for Josh. It was really good.
And I know that loss, from 2012 stung everybody involved, but it really hit him more than, I don't know if more than anybody else, but, he did take that loss, and I know it, it hit him pretty hard. And so, man, so you're coaching now? You're in the New Jersey, New York area, and you're coaching out there?
Yeah, and I'm working on a book. I'm also writing a book about it. Actually,
nice.
The book sort of starts with the loss in 2012, ends with the win in 2016, and it covers my experience in Israel in between. So I'm working on finishing that up. So I'm finishing that and looking for a publisher, coaching ball, getting ready for March, and those are my projects right now.
If anybody ever wants to read a great blog, go to kingofjewishbaseball.com. I loved it when you were over in Israel. You sending the pictures of the carts and the different carts and transportation modes and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And you keep it in perspective, but you put a humorous twist, which you've got to. I mean, you did a good job over there, and I really can't wait to watch the World Baseball Classic come 2017, and I don't know about the rest of the guys here, but I'll be wearing my my Israeli baseball shirt with pride.
Heck yeah. We need all the fans we can get. I don't know how many of our fans are going to be traveling to Korea. That place is going to, those stadiums are going to be rocking. I'm sure they're going to be cheering on the home crowd. So we need as many fans as we can get.
And so, do you, I don't want to put you on the spot by making a prediction or anything, but do you guys win a couple of games, you think? I mean, the ability's there. The ability's there. I mean,
of course they are. They're going to freaking do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna prepare as well as we can, and we're gonna go balls to the wall when we get out on the field, and so that's all you can do, and we'll see what happens. You know what I mean, results wise, but we're gonna give it our best shot for sure.
So your baseball experience in Israel, let's what did you take away from that?
What did I take away from that? It was challenging and successful and good and bad and frustrating and exciting. It was everything that something could be. It just depended what day it was. I took a lot away from it. It's a great experience. I mean, the relationships that I formed, the people that I got to work with, the kids that I got to coach. That's what you always take away from everything, I think, is actual human relationships and experiences like that. So, it was a little bit of everything depending on what was going on at the time. But at least it wasn't boring, I can say that.
Yeah, I get that. And once again, Mr. Nate Fish, the king of Jewish baseball. And hey, let's go out on give me 5 songs that you're enjoying right now, that you're listening to right now.
Oh, 5 songs. I don't know. I just watched the Nina Simone documentary last night, so I've been listening to a lot of Nina Simone the last couple days. So I don't know about 5 songs, but I'll recommend to any of the listeners to check out that film and put on some Nina Simone. All
right. Well, Nate, hey, thanks for coming on, and go get 'em, man.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, hey, absolutely. Once again, Mr. Nate Fish, the king of Jewish baseball. Man, last time he had a cat. He was house sitting, and he had a cat that he was watching, and that was kind of funny as Brian smiles over there. Yeah. And so Tony, man, Jose Fernandez passed away last Sunday. Did you ever, in your playing days, did you ever witness something like that, a teammate passing away like that during the season?
I did not. No.
And my question is are the Marlins retiring his jersey too soon?
No.
You don't think so?
No, not at all. You got to.
And so here's why I ask. So 4 seasons, he had a pretty stellar career for 4 seasons. Darryl Kyle spent how many years in the big leagues before he passed away? And do you know that his jersey is not retired yet by any of the teams that he played for?
Wow.
They do not give it to any player, but they haven't officially retired it yet.
It'll be up to the teams, right? So the Marlins are doing that early, which I agree with they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely. I mean, he definitely was a talent, and he was fun to watch.
He was a good teammate, and everybody liked him and all that stuff. So yeah, you got to do it.
And so we'll chat a little bit about Tebow. Of course, Tebow hitting a home run, first pitch in instructional league.
Oppo.
Now, as exciting as that is, I just want to remind you what instructional league is. Instructional league is your lower minor league players, so your rookie guys and, your low season guys.
Yeah, I went there.
And so, yes, there is still talent there.
Oh, definitely.
But let's not get too excited yet.
Well, we're not yet.
As a former player, what is your take on Tebow? I mean,
at first I was like everyone else. I'll be honest with you. I was like, it's just a publicity stunt or anything like that. But at the same time, you got to give the guy credit. You do for trying.
Right.
I mean, you hold the tryout for 30 teams and you get signed out of it. Hey, that's a pretty good day, right? But at the same time, it goes both ways. I mean, you got to give him credit for doing it. It's a grind. It's not easy. He took 10, 11 years off,
and he's going to find that out.
Yeah, you can't just go into like AA and hit 300. It's not going to happen. And you got to take it serious. You do. You got to take it serious. You got to study and practice every day. But we'll see. I mean, he's got talent. He has power. He has speed.
There's no doubt the talent is there.
He has a lot athletic ability. So you never know. He has a shot. So
I think it's great for baseball.
Yeah.
More power to him.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you got to give him credit for doing it.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun to watch.
Is, yeah. But when you go to, if he goes to low A or long A, that 142 games and 600 bats, that can kind of gauge on how he's going to do. But he's still young enough. He's not 30 yet, right? So he's still not young enough to have a couple good years. So who knows?
People don't realize how long of a season baseball is. I mean, even at your low A, you play 130 some games, and AAA you play 144 plus playoffs.
I think all minor needs is 142. I don't know,
some around there, and it's a grind every single day. I remember being in Lancaster, and we would go 28 days in a row without a day off.
Yeah,
I mean, and then you have rainouts, and then it could be even pushed even further than that. Even on your day off, you really don't get a day off.
For like AAA, you play a series with the team, and then you fly out, and then you don't get in until 3, 4 in the morning, and then you got to play a game that day.
Then you got to be at the ballpark too.
Yeah, I remember doing that stuff, man, and my body would feel weird. I feel like I was like floating or something. Like I never could get loose. Like I could, I would just.
It's hard.
Sore all the time.
It's hard, and
no sleep. Yeah,
it's a grind. All right, guys. Hey, final day of baseball season, Major League regular season. Brian's going to get in on this, and so
let's go, Erickson.
Let's do some predictions. And so today, if the Giants win, the Giants get the second NL wild card.
And they'll play the Mets in New York.
And then they'll play the Mets in New York.
And I got them beating New York, dude.
So, as a player, does it really matter how you make the playoffs?
No, that's why.
Whether you sneak in on that wild card?
No, it doesn't matter at all. Everybody,
And I ask because got some Dodger friends out there.
Matters how you finish.
They don't want in the playoffs unless they win the division.
No, that's bullcrap.
That's bullcrap. As a player,
who cares if you get in? How
you get in?
How you get in?
You get in.
You get in, and you got to go with the sucker-free San Francisco.
I'm telling you, the Giants are for real. They get in. If that second wild card spot, they could do some damage.
Hey, you got to.
The Mets are wounded. They could win that series.
The Giants been there before. You got to give it to them.
It's an even year.
Yeah, and everybody's like, the biggest flop in baseball. No, if they get in, doesn't matter how you get in. It matters how you finish, not how you start.
Even though that flop in that second half was
but
brutal.
If they get in and they beat the Mets,
they don't even think about it.
No, it doesn't matter at all. So you got to go with San Francisco. I got him going the World Series against the Red Sox. That's it, baby.
Brian, what do you got, Brian? Brian's a don't suck guy, so he's probably going to go with the Cubs. How can you go against him?
Got to go with Joe Madden. I mean, Joe Madden's the guy. And you guys are just on the San Francisco bandwagon. Have been for how many? Not you, Tony. I mean, you're on the wagon with them. I don't even know if that's the right way to say it. You can jump on that bat. It's not even a bandwagon for you. For him, it's a bandwagon. It's your team. That's who you were with. You played with. I don't want to say you get a pass, but it's you. It's Tony Giants.
But you guys got to go with him.
He's on the bandwagon here. I mean, come on. Just because it's an even year, you got to go with that.
All right, so I'm on the bandwagon. I'm on the bandwagon because of guys like Tony Turcato, and working with the Giants, and
Can I have my hat back there so I can put on my team hat?
I got him getting in today against the Mets.
He's gonna grab him there
on Wednesday.
Okay. I am gonna join the bandwagon as well. So there you go.
I got him beat.
I'm on the Giants.
The Mets in New York. I got Bumgarner going.
Hey, bottom line, the playoffs are going to be awesome. I mean, you got the Cubs. The Cubs are good. You got the Rangers. They're good out of the American League.
I think when it comes to the big lights, man, you got to give it to San Francisco
the Red Sox.
And the Red Sox.
It's going to be a good year. The Orioles. It's going to be a good playoff.
Would people buy into that? The Red Sox and the Giants. Would that be a fun one to watch?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, David Ortiz's last season.
Yeah, Pedroia's from Woodland. We're from Woodland, and it was good to watch him play.
It'd be fun.
Is it Laser Show? Is he from Woodland too?
Woodland. Yeah.
Is he one of your boys from?
I grew up with him a little.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know his family and stuff. Yeah. Man, he could be MVP candidate, like we said earlier. But there's like 3 guys on that team. So
speaking of which, we're going to make our predictions for awards for the baseball season. And so let's start National League, and we're going to start with the Cy Young.
I'll go with Max Scherzer.
Okay, Brian.
Let's go with Lester.
Lester. I went with Scherzer as well. And so he had
Once again, I lose.
You originally went with Scherzer too. But,
yeah, I changed it up.
You got 3 or 4 pitchers in there that really could make the claim to it. And and here's something to think about. Jose Fernandez. I mean, he had a solid season.
Possibly.
And do they give it to him just because? It's possible.
No, I don't think anybody would be mad if they did.
I don't think so either.
But possibly.
It's very possible.
Never know.
All right. Most valuable player, National League.
I'm going to go with Chris Bryant from the Cubs.
Max Scherzer.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, we're going pitcher. I would with Chris Bryant as well. There again, I mean...
Cubs are a great team.
You got a couple of them,
He's their MVP in the team, so give it to him.
Rookie of the Year, National League.
I'll get back to you on that.
This, I think, is a given. Brian?
Max Scherzer.
I'm going with Seager out of L.A.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm going with Seager out of L.A.
Well,
interesting pick. I like that pick, though.
I think it's hands down. And last, NL Manager of the Year.
The National League Manager of the Year.
You got Dusty Baker with the Nats. You've got Madden with the Cubs.
Dusty gets the comeback Manager of the Year.
Dusty, okay.
I would say Dave Roberts probably with the Dodgers.
Yep.
Just because it's first year and
Brian's going to go with Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
Joe Madden, thank you very much. Scherzer comes in second.
I like the Joe Madden pick.
Yeah.
But the Cubs are where they should be and where they're expected to be.
The Cubs are a great team. They're going to be tough to beat. It is.
I think Dave Roberts from LA wins it. The Dodgers, they hung with it. They lost Kershaw. They had some injuries. And, he's put it together. And so...
Yeah. I think the Giants are still a better team than the Dodgers, man.
I do too.
I don't care what people say.
All right. Off to the junior circuit, the American League, the second best league. I'm just kidding.
Ouch.
Cy Young. Who do you got, Tony?
For the American League?
For the American League.
Oh, man, that's a tough one. I'll get back to you.
Porcello
as well. I mean, what? 23 wins?
22-4, I think. 23-4, something like that.
How can you go against that?
Yeah, it's hard to go. Same with MVP.
MVP?
Same thing.
Porcello for you?
Yeah.
No, the MVP in the American League?
American League?
I think it's a given. I'm going with Jose Altuve.
Oh, I love
MVP.
I love Altuve,
and I wouldn't be mad though if he didn't get it, and like Mookie Betts got it, or David Ortiz.
I'm going with Big Papi because he's put up the numbers, and it's his final season.
I would say Pedroia also, but he's underrated still.
You got like 3 or 4 guys off the Red Sox.
Yeah, but he's probably their MVP.
Doesn't matter how the team does.
I say no, but everybody else say yes.
Yeah, I think it does. If you're going to give somebody an MVP that's in the last place.
I think Trout's in the mix, but
you gotta give it to a winning team, I think.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's an opinion.
I come from, Dale Murphy was my favorite player growing up, and the Braves sucked the 2 years that he won it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you got to give it to either Altuve or somebody on the Red Sox, to be honest with you.
Rookie of the Year, American League.
Oh, I don't know. Go ahead.
Is there a minimum number of games they have to play?
I say no.
Gary Sanchez.
Which is a
that's a
good
good
choice. Gary Sanchez is
I would say
amazing.
him. American League.
I'm going with Michael Fulmer of the Tigers.
It's a good pick.
He had a pretty good, solid year. And finally, the AL Manager of the Year.
I'm going to change mine up. I'm going to throw you a
Terry
curveball.
Francona.
Ooh.
The Indians.
What about Scott Cervais?
Mariners?
Yeah.
No, they didn't get in the playoffs.
He had
But
I'm going-
they're so close. I mean, this
that don't
down to the
count.
last two games.
Doesn't count.
I think
Don't count.
2 games,
Gotta
and they're in
count.
the same position as your San Francisco Giants,
yeah.
right?
I'm going with Francona as well with Cleveland.
What about John Farrell?
Yeah, he's good.
Farrell, yeah. I mean, Boston, well, Boston was picked in the mix. I don't necessarily know if they were picked to win it all, but, the Blue Jays, Farrell definitely.
Who should be fired?
Well,
Scott Service
my
for not getting in the playoffs.
my sources,
Come on. 1.5 game out, 2 games. You got to get in there, dog.
I'm excited about this one, and my sources are telling me that out is Robin Ventura with the White Sox, and in is going to be Rick Renteria, which I'm excited about. Renteria, always have loved him. He was in Lake Elsinore when I was in Lancaster. I got to know him a little bit, and I'm going to say Ventura.
Joe Girardi.
Maybe.
No, I think they stick with Girardi. I mean, who are you going to bring in?
Fucking Norm Ordaz. Shit. Let's go.
I don't know if I would want.
Out of the blue.
I don't know
Let's
if
do it.
Tony is
he could be
away.
my hitting coach.
Swing from your hills, guys.
I don't know who. I mean, who is out there? I mean,
Swing
Les Miles? No, sorry.
Les Miles is headed to Oregon.
from your Kula.
So Helfrich is out there apparently.
So,
Oh, guys.
it's been a fun regular season. And what are a couple of your favorite moments of the regular season, Tony? Do you have a couple?
I don't. I didn't even watch one game.
Wow.
Not on TV,
Brian?
The only team I watched for a whole 9 innings was the Team 0.
You're right.
I watched that from start to finish. But
Brian?
Hey, I was excited to see the Mariners be in contention. Finally, and it's been a while. What's his name hitting the home run? Wearing Fernandez's helmet.
Dee Gordon.
And Dee Gordon took a pitch from the right side, switched over to the left, boom, knocked it out. That was kind of fun.
Pretty cool.
Stuff like that. And I really think the coolest thing that's going to happen today, all games start at the exact same
What time? 1 o'clock?
Today. 12:05, I think, here.
7-Eleven.
There you go.
I'm going with. There's a lot of memorable moments, but I'm going with the Dee Gordon as well. Probably the biggest home run I have seen since the Kirk Gibson home run in the playoffs in '88. Like I said, he batting helmet, took a pitch, switched over, and Dee Gordon, as we all know, is not a power guy. And, I mean, he hit the ball further than he's ever hit it before.
His only home run of the year, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And I just it came at an emotional time.
Mm-hmm.
And, I definitely think that, the Jose Fernandez death is the story of the 2016. That one hit me pretty hard. I didn't know the guy. But I know that he was fun to watch when he pitched. He was very emotional. He was definitely into it. And, Miami Marlins baseball in Miami, I don't think would be where it is today without him.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the Dee Gordon home run, and it was amazing. It was amazing. And if you're a human being and love baseball, how can you not tear up a little bit in that situation.
Unfortunate, man. God.
And so it does, I asked Tony about, a team member, passing away during the season. This reminds
Honestly,
me.
I haven't.
This reminds me so much of Nick Adenhart, who was the young Angels pitcher being brought up, who was killed in a drunk driving accident.
Oh yeah.
The night of him pitching his first Major League Baseball. And I remember being in Lancaster and Rancho Cucamonga coming to town and Adenhart being the pitcher. Now, I remember sitting in the clubhouse, talking with, our hitting coach, Damon Mayshore, as he's going through Adenhart. And I remember Adenhart was just a power pitcher. He's one of those 101 guys who just pounds the ball. And, I remember just the conversation about him in 2006. And so baseball, in the end, for me, people ask me, what baseball means to me, and baseball's family.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Baseball's family for me.
Mm-hmm.
As we talk, with Clubhouse Chatter, as we talk to all these different guys, in the end, it's usually the same thing. Norm, call me whenever. And I've got former GMs, I've got, people like Tom Gamboa. Man, it's it blows me away because it's a big family, and being a part of that family is important.
Yeah,
and
I regret it a little bit because I actually fell out of the loop a little bit. It's about 5 years there where I didn't really talk to anybody. And, that's kind of, I probably shouldn't have gone that long with former teammates and coaches and stuff, and I talked to a few guys recently last year. But, yeah, man, I kind of miss talking to a lot of guys, but, we got to kind of stay in touch.
It's a special bond, and, somebody like, you and I never, we crossed paths, at the ballpark different times, but we never were in the same clubhouse together. Mm-hmm. But, there's a bond. The fact that, we both, hung with San Francisco Giants and, saying knows a lot of the same guys and, hung out in the same groups, separate years apart. But there's a bond, and it's baseball. And, it's what baseball means to me. Baseball is family. And so it's a unique
catching up and telling stories and hanging out.
Absolutely. Definitely. It's a unique family. Sometimes it's a dysfunctional family.
Hey,
but when you got your big brother as Barry Bonds, life is good.
Yeah, man. I try to keep up as much as I can, but I don't a lot.
Right. It's hard.
I don't. Life goes
on.
Not even close to even what I was used to. But
right.
I still check scores, and I usually turn it on now, playoff time.
Yep.
Now I'll really keep on paying attention.
All right. With that, we all picked the San Francisco Giants as your 2016 World Series.
I got to. Especially if they get in the wild card, you just got to go with them.
Most valuable player will be Madison Bumgarner.
Maybe. You guys, everybody's on the Cubs and all these other guys at jockstrap. I tell you what.
The Cubs are
doubting
but the Cubs have never been there at this level. I mean, last year.
Right, that's why you got to give it to San Francisco because they have, and they've been on the big lights, and they've won from the bottom. And plus, all these teams win divisions, they don't get past the division series,
right?
Championship series. Got to go with.
With that said, go Giants. I'm Norm, Tony Torcato, the man, the myth, and the legend, Brian Erickson. You can catch Brian on Friday nights.
Straight studs, these guys.
At klYC.us, doing McMinnville High School football. And I do want to say 4-1 for the Grizzlies. And playoff bound.
Who the hell's
hopefully.
that?
Hopefully. And like I said, I'm Norm, Tony. Brian, we are sponsored by... You guys know
how to get a hold of me, right? You guys gonna say it? How to get a hold of me? How to get a hold of me?
We'll send out the bat.
1-800.
The bat signal.
1-800.
1-8 got junk. Got junk. All right, we are sponsored by baseballisms.com. If you like my hat, baseballisms.com is the place to go. Baseballdudes.com. Chris Gazelter in Vancouver, Washington. To be the best, you must train like the best. Mitch Canham, building an athlete's sports education, basedbypros.com. His dad, Mark Canham, does our shirts for us, MDM Design. And we stream live on yamhilltoday.com. We are always looking for sponsors. Get in touch with me. Or if you got a question, shoot me an email, normbo18@gmail.com. If you think we suck, send that to Brian.
I know.
Clubhouse Chatter.
Who knows?
On Twitter, Clubhouse Chatter 1T, Facebook, YouTube, MLB.com blogs. You could find us there. Hey, we'll be back next week with some more Clubhouse Chatter. Have a good weekend. Go Giants.